Have you ever had one of those moments that you stop in the middle of the day, you look around and suddenly notice how much the world has changed? Not over the centuries, not changed over generations, changed in just a handful of years. The streets look different, the shops look different, the way people communicate is different, the way people pay is different, the way people travel is different, the way people think is different. And maybe the biggest question of all is this: did all of these changes happen naturally, or were they guided in a direction most people never even stopped to question? Well, that's not necessarily just my thought of the day. This is thought of the day from my good friend Robbie. So yes, hello, welcome to the show. It is I, Chris with a K. I hope everyone's well. So a recent conversation raised a perspective that many will dismiss immediately. Some will strongly agree, and others may find it uncomfortable because it forces deeper reflection. But the idea is simple. What if society is helping to build the very systems that may one day restrict it? I mean, look around carefully. There are cameras almost everywhere. Street corners, shops, transport stations, public buildings, private buildings, doorbells, dash cams, phones, screens, lenses in every direction. At the same time, towers continue appearing across the towns and cities, wireless systems expand, signals increase, unless you're trying to watch a YouTube video. Smart devices multiply, artificial intelligence grows, cashless systems spread, self-service replaces workers, digital identity discussions continue. Data collection becomes routine. Most people call that progress, and maybe some of it is. But another perspective asks whether progress can also come with hidden costs, because every convenience usually requires something in return. Every system asks for access. Every platform asks for data. Every shortcut can create dependence. Every upgrade can remove an older freedom people once took for granted. Think about how quickly people accepted carrying a tracking-capable device in their pocket every hour of every day. Think about how quickly many accepted cameras as normal and in almost every public setting. Think about how quickly people have adapted to scanning codes, using apps, logging in, verifying identity, and needing permission for systems to complete simple tasks. None of it arrived as force, it arrived as convenience. And what makes this conversation interesting? Because major change often does not arrive through confrontation, it arrives through comfort. And one of the strongest metaphors discussed was the slow boil. Most people know the story. If a frog is dropped in boiling water, it jumps out immediately. It may remain until escape becomes too late. Whether the story is literal or symbolic doesn't really matter. The lesson matters. People often react to sudden danger. They rarely react to gradual change. And society may be especially vulnerable to gradual change when each step seems small, harmless, or even helpful. One extra camera, one more login system, one more app, one more tower, one more automated service, one less human interaction, one less private moment, one less independent option, one less cash payment point, one less staff counter, one less choice. None of these changes on their own seem dramatic, but stacked together over time, they can reshape the entire civilization. And that is why some people, including myself and my good friend Robbie, are concerned. Not because of one camera, not because of one phone or one machine, but because of the pattern, because patterns matter. A single raindrop means little. Years of rain carve valleys through stone. The next part of the discussion was even more interesting, the claim that human beings may already be more advanced than they realise. Consider your own body. Your brain sends electrical signals. Your heart beats through that electrical rhythm. Your nervous system carries information rapidly. Your senses gather data. Your body repairs itself. Your mind imagines, creates, remembers, loves, fears, builds, and dreams. No battery pack required. No charging cable needed. No software subscription and no monthly update. You are a natural system of immense complexity. Yet modern culture increasingly encourages people to view themselves as weak, dependent, incomplete and in need of constant technological assistance. Need an app to think, need a device to navigate, need a platform to socialise, need a screen to relax, need a system to function, need approval to speak. We need the algorithms to discover what's important and what matters. At what point does a helpful tool become a controlling crutch? That is the question worth asking. Technology itself is not the enemy. A hammer can build a house or break a window. The issue is never only the tool, it is who controls it, how it is used, and how dependent people become upon it. Take shopping, for example. Not long ago, many stores had staff tills, assistants, and human interaction. You asked questions, you spoke, you paid a person. You had conversation, however brief. Now, many places shift towards self-checkout systems, automated kiosks, app ordering, reduced staff, and remote customer service. Again, it's presented as convenience, presented as innovation. Sometimes it is convenient, but there's another side. Jobs disappear, human contact reduces, community weakens. Responsibility shifts onto the customer. The company saves labour costs while the customer does unpaid work. And because it's framed as modern, many simply just accept it. And that's another reoccurring theme. If something is branded modern, many assume it is automatically better. But new does not always mean improved. Faster does not always mean wiser, and digital does not always mean freer. Now think bigger than shopping. Think transport. Think banking. Think healthcare. Think education. Think communication. How many essential parts of life now depend on systems most people do not control or even barely understand? If a phone dies, some people cannot navigate. If an app fails, some people cannot access services. If a payment system crashes, many cannot buy necessities. If internet access is interrupted, business stops. If accounts are locked, lives can be disrupted instantly. That level of dependence should at least raise questions, because resilience once meant being able to function when systems failed. Now many systems are designed so people cannot function without them. Another major point raised was the issue of distraction. People are constantly pulled into arguments, political arguments, culture war arguments, celebrity drama, social media outrage, daily controversies, team versus team, left versus right, generation versus generation, neighbour versus neighbour. While people fight horizontally with one another, power often moves vertically above them. That pattern is old. Keep the public emotionally occupied and structurally disengaged. If citizens spend all their day arguing about each other, they spend less time questioning institutions, incentives, surveillance, expansion, monopolies, lobbying, corruption, or concentrated control. And this does not require a grand conspiracy to be true. It can happen through incentives alone. Media benefits from outrage, platforms benefit from engagement, politicians benefit from division, corporates benefit from distracted consumers. Have you ever noticed how systems often reward what weakens public focus? Then there's the topic of war. History repeatedly shows that ordinary people pay the highest price. Families lose sons and daughters. Homes are destroyed. Communities collapse. Trauma spreads for generations. Yet those making the strategic decisions are often insulated from direct danger. Again, this isn't new. It's one of the oldest patterns in civilization. Those with the least power often bear the heaviest costs, which leads back to the central message. People should question systems more seriously, not reject everything, not fear everything, but question more, because unquestioning populations are far easier to steer. Critical populations are much harder to manipulate. Now consider the idea of one connected network. Phones gather data, cameras observe movement, apps record habits. Search engines log interests, payment systems track purchases. Smart devices monitor homes, platforms profile behaviour, AI systems analyse patterns. Each piece may seem separate, but together they create something unprecedented in human history. The ability to model populations at scale, to predict behaviour, to influence decisions, to rank risk, to identify dissent, to automate control. Again, this does not mean every technology is malicious. It means capabilities matter. If you cannot direct your own attention, somebody else will. That may be the deepest form of control of all. So today's thought is not fear the future, it's this. Do not sleepwalk into it. Question what is being built. Question what's being normalised. Question what's being removed. Question what is being sold as convenience. And question who benefits most. Because we really need to start questioning the things which are difficult to question once systems are fully in place. Because by the time many people notice the cage, they've already forgotten what open space felt like. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Look after yourselves, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye for now.